Welcome to Break the Board Sports. RJ Cash here, going through your best betting trends for week 4 in the NFL. Again, click that like, hit subscribe, giving you the best betting trends as we run down through each and every game here. BreakTheBoardSports.com. Let's hop right into it. First game, Minnesota Vikings, Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, Vikings laying 2.5, over under 41.5 now. Vikings getting 62% of bets, 59% of the handle. The over getting 68% of bets, 51% of the handle. BetMGM, the third most bet game is the Minnesota Vikings. Circa Millions contest out there in Las Vegas. The Minnesota Vikings are their third biggest bet. A lot of love for the Vikings here. When you look into some betting trends for Minnesota, 6-3 against the spread their last 9, 11-3 straight up their last 14. Minnesota also 5-2 their last 7 on the road as this game's over in Dublin, Ireland. Pittsburgh 2-6 ATS their last 8. When these two teams match up head to head, the under has cashed 7 of the last 10 meetings. A couple other trends so far. If you look at it for the season, Minnesota 2-1 and 2-1 ATS. Pittsburgh 2-1 straight up, but 1-2 ATS. I think if you can find a 3 or buy a hook to a 3, Pittsburgh would be a definite way to lean here. There was just a lot of emotion last week for Minnesota. Carson Wentz making a start for his childhood team. Bengals with the backup quarterback. It was just almost kind of like the perfect storm. But how that Pittsburgh defense played, I think you can expect a very low-scoring game. That's why your total is set at 40.5. I think Pittsburgh is the right side in that one, especially when you look at the money and the trends. I'll be contrarian. I'll go Pittsburgh plus the 3. A hold your nose, ugly, ugly dog. But I got to do it. The line just moved to 6.5. I would wait, see if you could get a 7. But the fact that there's so much money on it, it's the most lopsided game of the weekend, yet the line has only moved a half a point. LA Chargers at the New York Giants. Giants laying 6.5. You're over under 43.5. 82% of tickets and 91% of the handle is on the Chargers. Over in all 5 major books, over 86% is the lowest. 86% and higher, money and tickets are on the Chargers, yet the line is frozen. I know the Giants are starting a rookie quarterback, but it's on the road. Again, you got a West Coast team on the East Coast for a 1 o'clock game. That Giants defense is good. Giants are only getting 18% of tickets. They're only getting 9% of the money. Again, this line should have ballooned up to 2.5 points. It has stayed. Chargers 6-1 ATS their last 7. As long with 6-1 straight up over their last 7. Giants, they haven't covered very well. 3-12 against the spread their last 15. The Chargers are on a 5-0 ATS run when they play the Giants. Even worse, the Giants straight up are 1-14 over their last 15 contests. Just absolutely brutal. The over is cashed between these two teams in 6 of the last 7 meetings. I know it's an ugly dog. It's extremely ugly. But listen, they're baiting you here. The Chargers are the most popular play in the world today for NFL football. I'll take the Giants. I think if you put the Giants in teasers too, again, a 7-point teaser, again, 13.5. I don't think the Giants win the game, but I do think this one is way closer than it should be. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. Let's get into the next game. Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philadelphia 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games overall. When you look at the splits on this game, Philadelphia laying 3.5. The line hasn't moved all week. Ticket count is now 50-50. Only difference is 77% of the betting money is going to the city of brotherly love and the Eagles. Tampa Bay getting 23% of that money. Now the over-under 44.5. It's pretty tricky. You got 83% of tickets on the over, 25% of the handle on the over, but the under is only getting 17% of bets, but 75% of handle. Clear message. Low ticket count, high money amount, that's your pros. When it's high ticket count, low money, that's your public. The under is the right side here again, especially if you can get in some type of teaser format. The under would be the lean. But I also like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, when you look at this, Philly is just 2-5 against the spread their last 7 meetings with Tampa. Tampa snagged them last year, 33-16. Philadelphia, despite winning 9 straight games, Tampa Bay's 4-1 at home over their last 5. And there's also, you can make a strong case, this Philadelphia Eagle game should have lost. Philadelphia Eagle team should have lost to Dallas, should have lost to the Chiefs, definitely should have lost to the Rams last week. They've needed luck, whether it's drops by Lamb, a drop by Kelsey that turns into a pick, or a crazy scene of events to get them back in the game, and then a block punt. They've needed so many crazy things to get them where they need to be. I think the bus stops here. The Bucs are live dogs here, plus 3.5. I also think you should put some attention to that under. Moving next, 4 o'clock block, the Indianapolis Colts and the LA Rams. This is my favorite game of the day. Now, LA at home, laying 3.5, over under 49.5. This is another one where people are loading up on one side, but the line has been frozen all week. Colts, 53% of tickets compared to just 47% of tickets for the Rams. Colts, 75% of the handle, overwhelming amount of money, yet the line has stayed froze. That's a key alert that should go up. 25% of the handle for the Rams. Listen, I know a lot of people are against buying points. Buy the hook, get Rams -3, cost you about $1.20, $1.25, and pound it. I gave it out as a 10-unit play. I think the Rams win this game by 7. I just want the 3 just in case. Rams 5-1 against the spread their last 6, should be 6-0 if it wasn't for that Eagle debacle. Colts, when they're head-to-head with the Rams, the Colts are 3-7 ATS over their last 10. They've been brutal. The Rams, 8-3 straight up their last 11 games. And when these two teams hook up, the over is cashed in 7 straight games again. I'll lean with the LA Rams -3. They are my favorite play through 4 weeks of the NFL season so far. Absolutely, hands down. Love the Rams in this game. Get the hook, -3. That'll be the way to go. Next game on the board is the Cleveland Browns at the Detroit Lions. Lions laying 10. Your over-under is 44.5. Now, 67% of tickets and 63% of the handle on the Detroit Lions. 33% of tickets and 37% of handle goes to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, that phenomenal, miraculous win they had last week. Their defense top in the league. But look, this Detroit Lions train is getting going. Had them plus 4.5 against Baltimore. I'm never going to lay 10, but I said this in our teaser show. The Lions, I would tease them every which way you could. I think they're a double digits favorite that actually gets across the finish line in this one. I think they just got way too much firepower for this Cleveland Browns team. Again, Cleveland, very fortunate they won that game last week. That win makes Cleveland 1-8 straight up their last 9, but they're only 1-4 against the spread the last 5 versus the Lions. Browns overall 2-7 against the spread their last 9 games. Detroit 5-2 against the spread their last 7. And what's even more important is the Detroit Lions are 16-3 straight up over their last 19 games overall. Now, Lions also 13-9 ATS over their last 22 contests. If you've been following that, you'd be up 4 units. Now, the Detroit Lions also in this one, first half game total over 16-6 over the last 22. 16 times they've went over the first half number. That number is 22.5. If you've been following that trend, you're up 8.95 units, about a 35% return on your investment there. So really good stuff. Lions in the first half, I know they're -325 for the first half, and maybe you find somebody to parlay them with. Reason being, the Browns have only hit the first half money line 3 of their last 20 games. Yeesh. If you had been betting on the Browns to cover and to win the first half, you're 3 wins, 17 losses, and down 10.65 units and down 43% return on your investment there. Lions first half is live here. Maybe you do a little parlay. Lions first half money line with the LA Rams money line to win the game. Next game on the board, Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Redskins. Falcons now with the news, Jalen Daniels out, Terry McLaurin's out. Falcons looked an absolute disaster at Carolina. I have no idea what that was, other than to say I expect nothing less from Raheem Morris. He has been nothing but a disappointment as his time as a head coach overall in the NFL. Now, Atlanta, because of that, switched from a 2.5 point dog to a 1.5 point favorite. Atlanta and Washington met last year. Washington won that game 30-24 in overtime in Washington. Right now, the Falcons are getting 36% of bets compared to 64% for Washington, but again, flipped. So more tickets for the Redskins, but less money, 30%. That means public money, 36% of bets to Atlanta, but 70% of the handle. That's pro money. Falcons here on the money line, minus $1.25, minus $1.30 would be the way to go. The over-under sets at 43.5. It's about even. 59% of tickets to the over, 41% to the under in this one. The Washington Redskins, overall, again, now you got to remember, no Jalen Daniels, right? No Jalen Daniels, no Terry McLaurin. So a little bit different vibe. They're 6-1 against the spread against Atlanta over their last 7, 4-1 straight up over their last 5 versus Atlanta. They've been on an awesome straight up roll, has the Washington Redskins, 9-2 over their last 11 contests, 6-3 against the spread their last 9. Atlanta just 1-4 over their last 5 games. And even with all those weapons, Bijan Robinson and Drake London and Kyle Pitts, rather, the Falcons still can't get together. They've gone under the total 9 of their last 12 games. Again, just I don't know how much longer they're going to play this game with Raheem Morris, but you're wasting a lot of offensive talent by doing that. If you look at Atlanta, the first half game total over 11-8, their last 19. That would put you up 1.95 units. Nothing to write home about there as far as that goes. Atlanta 8-12 straight up over their last 20. If you've been betting Atlanta money line, you're down 9.55 units, down 27% return on your investment. Washington, second half over, has been very good to bettors. Game total over for the second half, they're 10-5 over the last 15. That would put you up 4.67 units, about a 29% return on your investment. But again, I lean Atlanta here. I played Atlanta. Again, I give you leans on every game, but Atlanta is one I played. The Rams was my biggest play of the week. I had a teaser. Texans and Rams had a 10-point teaser there. And I took the Bucks plus 3.5. Those are what I've done to this point. But again, I just really like the Atlanta Falcons in this matchup. Even though I'm a Washington Redskins fan, I don't feel like we're really that good of a team this year. And I think the longer things go on, the more that'll get exposed. Carolina Panthers at the New England Patriots. This one is an interesting game. I know a lot of people, again, recency bias can't live in your brain. The NFL resets each and every week. So that Carolina Panthers thrashing they gave the Falcons, got to get that out of your head. Panthers are catching 5.5 at New England. 55% of bets to the Panthers, 45% to New England. But again, here's that flip. More ticket count, 55%, but only 23% of money. Public following what they see with the Panthers last week. New England at home, 45% of tickets, but 77% of the handle. Now, the over-under 42.5, it's split pretty much dead even down the way. But listen, New England, I think they win this game. All I heard was how good they were going to be. This is a game Drake May and Mike Vrabel and company have got to figure out a way to get. When you look at some trends in this one, again, Carolina has not been a team that you historically can back until recently. 9-3 ATS their last 12. They've been really good despite a 5-12 straight up record over their last 17. And they've owned New England from an ATS standpoint. Carolina 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games against the Patriots. Patriots have struggled so bad, 2-8 straight up their last 10. But even more importantly, at home, the Patriots haven't played well. 2-13 in their last 15 games. I got to think that comes to an end this Sunday. I think Patriots, if you put them in some kind of teaser or whatnot, can give you some really good value. As far as the Patriots, the game total over 13-7 over their last 20. 13 times it's went over the total. If you've been following that trend, you're up 5.3 units, about a 20% return on your investment. Consequently, Panthers, 5 of the last 9 on the road, they've hit the game total over. First half game total overs at 21.5 right now at FanDuel. Panthers have hit that 12 of their last 19 contests, so 12-7 record would put you up 7.45 units, a 34% return on your investment. Not too shabby. If you think the Patriots get off to a fast start, they've hit the first quarter money line 8 of the last 17. That puts you up 4.6 units, about 26% return on your investment. You can find them low as $1.55 for the first quarter. So if you think New England gets off to a good start, maybe that's the way you play it and look at it. Again, I think if you put New England in any kind of money line parlays or teasers, you're safe. I also think you're safe if you lay the 5.5. And I'm not somebody that likes to lay points. I have horrible track record with favorites. Even when I try to cheat, a la Penn State and Georgia this past weekend, it never seems to work out for me. But I definitely think the Patriots are worth a stab here. Next game on the board, Chicago Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think this is a really interesting game. Again, you're going to get a lot of recency bias here, right? Raiders looked absolutely pathetic past couple of weeks. And then the Chicago Bears blew out Dallas. Listen, Raiders laying 1.5. They're only getting 30% of tickets and 38% of the money compared to 70% of tickets to the Bears and 62% of the money. That over-under is 48.5. The ticket count, 49% over, 51% under. That's pretty even. But the handle's the biggest discrepancy. 86% to the over, 14% to the under. I think the under actually could be live here, even though these two defenses aren't great. I need to see Chicago be able to put up that kind of points 2 weeks in a row. Here's the other thing. Raiders did everything they could. Geno Smith played horrible against the Chargers. And then against the Redskins last week, not much better. I know the betting side, 70% of tickets, 62% of money's on the Bears. I love Bears in 7 and 10 point teasers. Get them plus 8.5, get them plus 11.5. I think that's extremely great value. But if you're talking about the game itself, I think the Raiders minus $1.20. Look, the Raiders aren't going to go like winless, right? Now, Chicago, they're just 2-12 straight up their last 14. I know they got a good new coach in Ben Johnson, but also the Raiders, Pete Carroll, this is a big game for them. They haven't been much better. 3-13 over their last 16 games straight up, just 1-6 straight up their last 7 at home. This is a game the Raiders need. I also remember I told you everybody's on that over 48.5. Listen, the under is cashed 7 of the last 9 games the Raiders have played in. Again, I think that under is in play here, but I lean Raiders. I got the Bears in teasers, but I may actually end up putting a play on the Raiders here, especially if that line freezes and the ticket count and money keeps going to the Bears' way. I'll be contrarian and take the home team in this one. You might even see this go as low as pick. Be interesting to see how that goes as the day goes on. Last game, touch on Baltimore Ravens at the Kansas City Chiefs. And this one is all Ravens from a betting standpoint. The line's 2.5, 68% of tickets, 75% of the handle to the Ravens. There was a day where this was a 50-50 split. That's no more with the way the Chiefs have looked. But listen, the Ravens, they look pathetic Monday night against the Lions, and Derrick Henry has not played well. Chiefs getting 32% of tickets, 25% of the handle. That over-under is set at 48.5. Only 40% of tickets to the under, but 77% of the money. I think the under could be in play here. The Chiefs' biggest problem is they can't put the ball down the field, and offensively they struggle, but they get Xavier Worthy back right on time for them. Baltimore, 1-4 against the spread the last 5 in Kansas City. You got to wonder, can the Chiefs pull some of that magic back? Just think how crazy it is. The loser of this game is going to be 1-3. Unreal. If you had a bet on that at the beginning of the season, it probably would have been like plus 3,000. But Ravens 14-6 straight up their last 20. Chiefs 15-5 straight up their last 20. Again, these two teams in very unfamiliar territory. The over is cashed for the Ravens 5 of their last 6 games. Head to head, the over 5 times has cashed in the last 7. The Kansas City Chiefs, again, they get their guy back. They won this game by 7 at home last year. Now they're catching 2.5. I don't have the gumption to be able to take them plus 2.5 or even to buy it to 3, despite the money and trends showing me that way. But I will tell you what I am going to do. Teasing the Chiefs all day long is what I'm going to do. I think that's just extremely great value to get them in a teaser spot. I think you can win there with the Chiefs in the teaser situation. I think that's great value. Again, breaktheboardsports.com, here to help you become a better handicapper. If you go to the website, You can sign up for all of our plays for $1.37 a day. But again, our main goal is to help you become a better handicapper, give you all the trends and picks to be able to do that. Again, at breaktheboardsports.com, click that like, hit subscribe. Again, going back to the Chiefs Ravens since 2018, they've taken 5 of the last 6 versus the Baltimore Ravens. Couple other little trends here. The Ravens team total, they've been on an absolute tear with this, 18-4 over the last 22. You're up 13.55 units, about a 20% return on your investment. Chiefs have been a covering machine in the fourth quarter. They've hit that 14 of the last 20 times, put you up 7.55 units, about a 34% return on your investment. The over, we talked about that, 15-7 to the over for games the Ravens have played in their last 22, put you up 8.4 units, 35% return on your investment. Kansas City Chiefs, 8-2 at home over their last 10 contests, put you up 6 units, 20% return on your investment. Right now at FanDuel, you can get the Chiefs plus $1.26. Ravens, if you think they start hot, which typically they do, 16 of the last 22 games, they've hit the first half money line. The first half money line right now is set at $1.30. That would put you up 9.12 units, about a 15% return on your investment that you can get here. Again, I just think that's great value for it. So just to recap, a couple things we're doing. Check out our teaser show, some really good stuff there. But as far as straight bets go for Sunday, I love the Rams -3. I gave that out as a 10-unit play. Got some cabbage on the Falcons. Took the Bucks plus 3.5. I'll be a contrarian with the Steelers. Take them +3 for just a little bit of pizza money. And again, I think you have to, if you don't play the Giants straight, the least you can do is you got to tease them. You just absolutely got to. The whole world's on the Chargers, and that line's not moving. That's a clear indication. You either stay or you cannot go laying 6.5 with the Chargers. I'm telling you, they're baiting you. Again, I'm RJ Cash. Click that like, hit subscribe. Check us out, breaktheboardsports.com. We're here to help you become a better handicapper in any which way we can so you can help pick your own games and not have to rely on anybody. God bless. Happy handicapping. Let's make some money this Sunday.